Okay. All right. Well, welcome to our weekly webinar. This week I am with Autumn, and we are going to go over upgrades, updates, that sort of thing. And are they worth it? Do they bring value? Should be kind of interesting. So go ahead and kick us off.
I think this is totally interesting because I remember when I owned a house when I lived in Hutto, the idea of selling it um, scared me because I felt like I had to do all of these upgrades.
Mhm.
And honestly, I didn't need to. And if I had sold it when the market was good, I would have gotten a better return on it rather than being fearful of the things that I felt needed to be done versus the things that just needs to be done to to sell
To
your
get it to
house.
sell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And this is kind of very important in the market we're in right now because sellers are finding it harder to sell, right?
yeah.
And so you gotta weigh out, should I do these updates? Should I do these upgrades? Is this going to help sell it? And am I going to get a return on it? Or am I wasting my money? These are all questions that sellers should be asking themselves in this market. So I think it's a good topic.
Yeah, because I really don't want my clients wasting their money on unnecessary upgrades.
Sure.
And the market really doesn't care about all the upgrades that you put into it. It just they care about what individuals see when
Hmm.
they walk in the door, and that doesn't have to be a marble tiled kitchen.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. So I think the most important thing is to educate people on what is most necessary for anybody to come into your home and go, okay, this can work,
Yeah.
right? What do you think the number one upgrade would be?
Number one, upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say because it's very particular to the area. It may be different for different places, and it may be what's most run down or aged in the home that you're in, right? Like what's the biggest eyesore? Maybe the one thing that you need to do, but I don't know that there's any one thing. There's so many upgrades that you can do, but it just depends on your home. You
Wood
know,
paneling. That's all I'm
wood
going to
paneling,
say.
yeah, definitely, definitely do something about that.
Paint it if
But
you can't replace
but
it.
I don't know if I call that an upgrade. Upgrade is going from like Formica countertops to like the
Granite quartz.
granite, quartz. Yeah, that's an upgrade.
Yeah, yeah.
Upgrade is putting in a pool.
Yeah.
Building an outdoor living area. Those are upgrades. Wood paneling is like, you have to get rid of that. Sorry.
Please, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, so they say that it's usually, and mostly the person that cooks in the family has a big say as to how the kitchen looks in the
Hmm.
home,
Yeah.
right? And so
So high traffic areas,
the high traffic
kitchen,
area,
master bedroom, bath.
right, right. Do you upgrade all those, the cabinetry? Do you upgrade the appliances?
Yeah.
I would.
Laura said that it's the front door.
It's the front door,
Now
Laura.
that is
You're
okay.
so right.
When you're listing a house, that definitely is one of the first impressions. So
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just as simple as slapping some paint on it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, you don't have to necessarily replace it with a fancy door.
But let's talk about that paint color of that front door. It needs to pop, but it doesn't need to pop too much.
What did they say? What did they say? It was like red or black. Black was the most popular. It brought like more money in, I think. And I was like, well, that's strange. There's actually a number equated with that.
Yeah, who runs those numbers?
I don't know.
What a boring job.
Yeah, it's probably some AI on Zillow or something,
Probably.
right? They just find a picture with the door and then do the price and
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's a small thing, right? The front door is a small thing that you can do that increases appeal.
Yeah, restain it.
Now
or
that's one of those
repaint it.
things. That's one of those things, though, that is not gonna increase value. It's going to increase marketability, and it's very
Yes.
important for sellers to understand the difference. Marketability means that it's going to be eye catching to a buyer, and it's going to make it sell faster because it looks nicer. But that does not equate to value,
Hmm.
right? That does not mean that you're going to get more money for it, especially in this market. It just means that your house is going to sell before the three or four others in the neighborhood because yours looks nicer.
Right.
So there's a difference in like marketability and actual value in dollars that you're going to get on the sales price.
And with that said, I would think that the curb appeal is going to be most important at first, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trim the limbs.
Yeah, trim the yard up.
Trim your yard up.
Now, you mentioned appliances, and
Mhm.
some people might think, well, the fridge, washer, and dryer, those things don't necessarily go with the house. And most times you're right.
Mhm.
But, your stove, your oven, your dishwasher, if those are old and run down,
Mhm.
that can be a big turnoff, especially for that person that spends a lot of time in the kitchen, right? They can look at that and be like, oh, these are junk.
Yeah, you don't want to see rust in the dish racks.
So their
of the
first thought
dishwasher.
is, okay, I got to spend $1,000 at least on appliances,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's not good. So those are things you can do, but again, it increases marketability, not sales value,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's gonna come in and be like, oh, that's nice, these are nice, I want to buy this place,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that doesn't mean that they're gonna give you more money for it.
Right. Like the $1,500, $2,000 refrigerator is not gonna sell your house, though.
Right.
So my first thing when I am looking at homes is what it looks like on the outside
Hmm.
compared to the rest of the homes in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't have to do many upgrades for landscaping. Just fresh, mulch, fresh
Hmm.
sod, fresh everything, and that's it. You don't have to spend a lot of money on plants and flowers and
Yeah,
all the
just spruce it
things.
up a little,
Just hire the 9, 10-year-old kid next
Yeah.
door, give him $15, let him cut your yard.
Pretend your mother-in-law's coming over and clean the place.
Oh gosh. Merry mates. No. But like we stained our fence, and it got to a point where it was just like, gosh, this is kind of tired. So we got our neighbor's kid to do it, and he did it for $20. I mean, win.
Yeah.
You know?
So these are the easy things that you can do, right?
Simple things that aren't cost.
That make your house a lot more marketable,
Right.
and make it more appealing, makes the pictures look better. And let's face it, everybody that's buying a home is shopping online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's two things that they look at. And I'm telling you, there's only two things they look at. Well, everybody looks at: price and pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. So if the price is in their search criteria, you're 50% there.
Yeah.
But the picture's got to be good, or they're just not even gonna. They're not gonna send it to their agent, or they're not going to reach out and try to look at it. They're not coming to the house. Period.
Sometimes though, the pictures are so good that when you get to the house,
Okay, that's enhancing images above and beyond reality, and
Yeah.
that's not a good idea.
and also I can say this, that I have once turned my clients who were walking behind me as I was opening up a house, and I love fur babies, okay, but when you smell it seeping out of the closed locked door,
Yeah,
or
that's a
out,
problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Nobody
like,
wants to
that's
smell
like-
any of that.
That's like cigarette smoke, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like one of those things that for a large amount of buyers is a turnoff. And yes, you can get the smell out, but it is a lot of work to get those smells out. And who's going to do it?
Right, and especially if you have carpet, that just maintains that smell, and
Compounds
you
it,
can't
yeah.
get it out. And the same goes for those that like to burn apple pie scented candles. Sometimes you just want to think about apple pie on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Like, it's too strong. Like
Yeah.
that, and I think the sensories that you feel as far as smell, the scents, it makes you remember places more.
Yeah.
In my mind.
And if your house does have like cigarette smoke smell, or it does have, like pet smell,
Uh-huh.
don't just go get an air wick, or spray some incense or light a candle before a showing, because then it just smells like your dog's been rolling around in the roses.
It's
Like
yeah, it smells like
then
perfume
it just
covered
smells
up.
weird.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's not good. So,
Yeah.
like I said, just keep in mind, and we all have different smells in our homes because we live there, right?
And
It's
you
not
go
that they're
absolutely
bad.
and you go absolutely nose blind to them.
You
Yeah, yeah.
you are, and don't try to overdo it, but don't try to mask a bad odor up.
Yeah,
You gotta get rid of
masking it
it.
doesn't work. You got to get rid of it.
Gotta get rid of it. And then I would say also, power wash. That doesn't cost a lot of money. Borrow a neighbor's power washer. There's a company that, even though I am not an Aggie, they are they're Aggie Power Washing, and they collect at closing. If your house doesn't sell, then you pay at the end of the listing agreement.
I wonder if they lose business because there's like Longhorn fans that are they're like, I'm not using
I
them.
mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but their business structure should not be structured around that. But there are things that you can do. I mean, gosh, you have a driveway that's got mold and oil stains, and you can get that off. You really can. And it makes a world of difference. Another thing is, let's talk about paint.
Yeah, paint's a big deal. A couple people have mentioned it in our chat too,
Yeah.
and it is a big deal. And it's okay. Painting can be expensive,
Right.
but it definitely makes a home look completely different, especially if you like loud colors,
Mm-hmm.
and you have rooms that have loud colors.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as a buyer walks through, they're thinking, okay, I got to spend $3,000 to paint this place.
And then I gotta find the comforter to match this darn paint color. You know what I mean? So I built my first home in 2003, and at that time, the thing to do was to have every room a bold color. So the dining room was a deep red, and the entryway was a tan, and then the kitchen was an olive green, and then my kids' room was like bright sky blue. Like, it didn't make any sense, but at the time it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so
if you have a house like that, though, you need to bring it back to neutral colors, so that everybody who walks through is not turned off by it.
Right. Especially, if you've got a hot pink room and a turquoise room, these people may not have a boy and a girl to put into the other bedrooms.
Right.
And so all they're seeing is more money they're going to have to spend on painting.
And I think a lot of sellers, the mindset is, well, they can paint it, they can do this, they can do that, and the fact is that yes, they can, but they can also go down to a street that's already color neutral, that's already been spruced up, that, you know what I mean, and buy that one instead. And so, with so many homes on the market and being on the market for such a long time, you have to stand out. And if you're not willing to do those little things, then, I don't mean to offend, but it seems to me you're not serious about selling.
Right. Right. And, you have to put money in to make money, of course. But putting it towards the right things is what matters the most.
Right.
And so paint, curb appeal, front door. Thank you, Laura. And, biggest thing for me would be completely declutter. You either pay somebody to deep clean and declutter, or you take a weekend to yourself and do it. It makes a world of difference. Take everything off the bathroom counters, the moisturizers, the deodorants, the toothpaste. Take it off and only use what you need.
Nobody cares about your beauty
Nobody
routine.
cares. They don't. I mean, if there was a cool curling iron maybe on the counter, I might be like, oh, what's this? But
That's nice. Where'd you get
Where'd you get that?
that?
And then we're not talking about your house at that point.
Right.
But yeah, and let's talk about the tchotchkes. You know, we don't need to know how many steins you have collected on your bookshelves.
Yeah.
Have you ever drank out of them? You know, but they mean something to you. But that's the point, is that they mean something only to you.
And those kinds of things are a distraction from the home.
Right.
And that's what you want them there to look at, not your collections, your paintings, your, whatever. You want them to look at the home, and the more decluttered and the less of those things that are there, the more they can see the home, and the more spacious the home looks.
Right. And not only that, they can visualize themselves living there. They can actually see that it could work for them based on the minimal things that you have in your home. Now, if you have a home full of furniture, it might be that we need to take out one of the rocking recliners that are side by side, just to give more space, and have the just make it more alluring to walk through. I would also say clean all your windows.
Yes.
Clean your windows and your windowsills. That makes a huge
and your
difference.
baseboards.
Oh my gosh, your baseboards as well. And I know it's a pain.
Especially if you have pets. They get dirty quick. You don't really realize it every day.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal.
Yeah. It is a big deal. I dropped my vacuum cleaner recently, and the whole dirt cup came out and went.
No.
And I'm still finding debris. But things like that, your pantry, organize that pantry. You take out the stale bread. Take out those things, because people are going to look in your pantry, especially people with big families. They need a big pantry. They want to see it. And if it's organized and it looks clean and it doesn't smell like maple syrup, I mean, great, right?
Yeah.
And just all the countertops need to be clear, and minimize the framed photos, and take every oil change coupon, anything you have attached with a magnet on your fridge, take it down. Okay? Just take it down. It's not going to hurt. Those coupons have probably expired anyway.
Probably.
What are your thoughts on when people convert their garage into a room?
Yeah, I don't like it. I think that for some people it works, like if they have a growing family, right, and they can't, afford to go buy a 4-bedroom over the 3-bedroom, and they got to put a kid out there or something. Like, I get it. I understand why people do it. I would say if you're going to do that, though, make it so that it can easily be converted back. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen some where they literally took the garage door out, framed, and walled it. And it's like, okay, well, that's not going back easily at all,
Right.
And there's a lot of people, let's face it, in our area, you could probably be anywhere in town and throw a rock and hit a storage facility. So people want garages, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they want to store their junk.
Yeah.
And if they don't have that, then it's kind of like a 2-story home, right? If you buy a 2-story home and you go to sell it, there's a certain amount of the buyer pool that's just not going to buy a 2-story. Well, there's a certain amount of buyer pool that's not going to buy something that doesn't have a garage, even though it has that extra room. And you're probably, telling your agent to claim it as square footage on the listing. It's not for everybody, and
right.
it's not probably going to work out in your benefit long term. So make it so that it can be converted back easily. You can easily put insulation in garage door panels. My last house,
I have that.
Yeah, I put insulation in it. I put a mini split in it, and it stayed 70 degrees in there all through the summer, no problem. So you can do that and convert it just that easily.
Yeah. I mean, my washer and dryer is in my garage.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me at all, but it is insulated, so it doesn't get too cold in the winter. But anyway, I've never been to a house and said, we've got to get that house because of the laundry room.
Yeah.
Never done that.
You spend some time there, but not willingly.
Not when your kids are grown and adults and it's just the two of you.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
There's just, once a week. But what about when people have you ever run into clients putting in a pool thinking that their house is going to sell just because they put a pool in.
Yeah, well, I've never had anybody put a pool in to sell the house, but a lot of people do think that when you put a pool in, that it raises the value of the home. And I'm not going to say it doesn't raise the value at all. But if you spend $75,000 to put a pool in, you can expect maybe 20
At that point, you're
on the
just
listing
giving
price.
the buyer a present.
Yeah. So if you plan on staying in a home for a long time and you want a pool, get a pool.
Yeah.
But if you don't know that that's going to be a long-term home for you, you're not going to get that money back. It's not going to increase value, but it is definitely going to make a buyer buy it.
Right.
It'll sell fast, well, if you price it right.
Right.
If you price it with like, here's the market value plus the 75,000 that I put into the pool, that's not going to work out for you. It's going to sit forever. But if you price it properly, it'll sell pretty fast because it has a pool and the neighbors don't,
Right.
But overall, that is to be viewed as an expense and a luxury. It's not an upgrade that's going to pay off at all.
What are your thoughts on carpet that's been in the house for 15 years?
Carpet's kind of a weird one, right? Because some people still like carpet, but anytime you're going to sell a house, replace the carpet. You can go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they'll do 3 bedrooms for $1,000, maybe max. I mean, depending on the quality of the carpet, but you can get brand new carpet put in pretty cheaply, and it makes a world of difference for pictures, for people coming through and viewing it. It just makes the house look a lot more newer and well kept.
And it doesn't capture any smells like carpet. Carpet usually catches a lot of smells and it just contains.
It does. And it's not just the carpet itself, it's the padding underneath it, stains, and what you think like, oh, I got my Bissell out and cleaned that soda off. No, it's still down underneath there.
Nope, little Johnny spilled a gallon of milk in that corner.
The last house that I owned, I had carpet in all the bedrooms, and we have dogs, and the dogs don't go in the bedrooms though.
Yeah.
They didn't go in the carpet. And I pulled the carpet out, and you would not believe the amount of dog hair and dirt that was under there. I mean, I literally had to wear a mask because it was bad. It was thick.
And it's just sitting there.
Oh,
it's
terrible.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
I would say replace it if it's in your bathrooms. I have known 2 people to have family members a long time ago had carpet in their bathrooms.
That's got to be like a 50s or 60s thing.
It is. I don't know if they just loved the warm, fuzzy feeling getting out of the bathtub as they're like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess
or you get up in the morning. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it feels nice.
Yeah. But I wouldn't think that. Also, speaking of bathrooms, you don't have to go and put a bidet in.
Right.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how to work them. It has backfired on me. It sprayed me all over this part. And I don't think that, that's going to be like, oh, honey, stop the car. They've got a bidet.
No, that's not going to do it.
Right.
No. But and for me, like carpet is. For me, if I was doing anything, I would take the carpet out and I would put in like LVP or something like that. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Now, there are people out there that still like carpet, and I get that. But for me, I think more people like LVP than like carpet. So if I'm taking carpet out, that's what I'm putting back in.
Yeah. I have the tile wood floors, and they're very hard and very cold, and so basically I have carpet rugs all over the place.
Yeah.
But the LVP, like it's great. It has like a little bit of a cushion to it when you walk on it, and it's not so bad in the back. It makes a world of difference in the home if you can afford to do that. Let's talk about backyards. I think that having a manicured backyard, meaning just mow the grass, take care of the weeds. You don't have to plant anything extravagant. But just having it maintained as far as mowing allows others to envision what they could do with that backyard for themselves. And I just think that when I show clients a home and we go outside in the backyard and there's a broken deck, and the fence is just probably laying on its side on one side. Like that's just an extra expense.
Yeah.
Um,
The fence is hanging on by one nail and
right,
completely rotted out.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
And that's always weird. It's difficult for a lot of people because there are shared fences in subdivisions, right? And
Yep.
you're like, oh, let's go see if this neighbor I've never talked to in 7 years is gonna help me pay for
I mean,
this.
couldn't you just build a fence in front of the fence?
I don't know.
I would think it'd be a little more sturdy.
Maybe, but
That eliminates having to talk to old cranky neighbor Joe.
yeah. Now, if you do have a good relationship with your neighbor, I mean, most
Split.
neighbors that are good, like I did that at my last house, and both of my neighbors were completely fine with it. The one in the back didn't want to deal with it, but he also didn't have side fencing or anything. So it was literally just my fence was at the back of his property. So he's like, I'm not trying to keep a dog in here, so what do I care? I'm like, all right, respect. But the two neighbors on the sides helped, not only help pay for it, but helped do it.
I see.
We did it
That's great.
ourselves.
That's great. So we have trees that are pushing our fence, and my husband's father said, "Why don't you just put a fence in front of the fence?"
Yeah.
Like, well, that might work.
I mean, I guess you could, but I don't know.
We don't have an HOA.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was just going to say.
Our neighbor has a pig in their yard.
There are HOAs that would not appreciate that, but if you don't have one, then good for you. You can do whatever you want.
Right. Also, I was under contract with one house, and it was just picture perfect, even going inside. Came down to inspection. He gets up on the roof, he gets back down, and I always go like 15 minutes before they're finished, so I'm not in their way, but so we can talk about it. And he was like, "It is the worst roof I've ever seen in my life."
Wow.
And the sellers weren't willing to replace it or come down on price, but I believe, as long as you're insured. Why don't you educate me on roofs?
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Fire away.
Educate me.
What do you mean? What do you want?
So, what is the time limit now that insurance companies cover? I mean, because I know if it's past like 15 years old, then it kind of, right? It's
well, so they have changed kind of how they do it recently, and so if it gets over a certain age, depending on whether you have a 20 or a 30-year roof, if it gets past a certain age, then they only cover a certain amount, right? So if it's 15 years or 20 years, and they're only going to pay for like the 5 years it had left, right? If it's not over a certain age, let's say it's 5 years old and you got hail damage, then what they do is they will they call it depreciation. So they'll say, okay, so the roof is 5 years old, it's a 30-year-old roof, so we're only going to give you X amount of money, but once you give us the receipt from the contractor who did it, then we'll give you the remainder, and they'll pay the whole amount minus the 2 or whatever percent of deductible you have, right? You have to pay that first. And then they, they'll replace the roof completely.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know, because I had an experience at my own home where they only replaced parts of the shingles that got damaged.
Yeah.
And that didn't look right. It didn't match, because you've got an aged roof with a new one, different colors.
And insurance companies have really kind of cracked down on that. In roofing, take like hail damage, for example. Like if it comes in an angle, it's only going to be on 1 or 2 slopes, right? And the insurance company is going to say, well, okay, we'll pay for these 2 slopes, but these ones are fine.
Right.
And that's when usually contractors get involved, because they're the professionals, right? And they can talk to the insurance company and say, not only is that roofing not going to match, but I can't replace just this field and this field, because these fields are interconnected, and I can't just cut and paste shingle. It's going to leak, and then I can't warranty it and then you're going to have an issue with water damage claim on the insurance on the house.
Mhm.
And I don't think you want to do that.
Right.
And then they can get the insurance company to go ahead and pay for the whole roof.
Right. Well, we had to get out of the contract because of that. You know, it was a roof that needed to be replaced. They probably could have just paid the deductible and gotten their insurance to cover it, perhaps. In the 20 years that it has been there must have been some hail damage at some point.
And little insight, if you do have to have a roof claim, just tell the roofer you don't want to pay your deductible.
There you go, and they'll take care of the rest.
Yeah, and trust me, when they replace roofs, there is plenty of profit in what insurance companies pay.
I hear that. So my husband's daughter has been doing that, and she actually gets up on roofs and inspects them.
Yeah,
and she files the claims and all the things. And we thought, well, we never really got the age of the roof. We were just told in inspection that it was good. So we had her come out and inspect it. And I was so hoping we could get a new roof. And she's like, it's in perfect condition.
Yeah. I had a neighbor that needed a roof bad, and he was like, I'm waiting for a hailstorm, man. I'm waiting for a hailstorm. I'm like, man, the age of that roof.
You might as well go throw hammers at it in the middle of the night.
They're going to give you $50 for the remaining value, you know? So if you are trying to sell a home that has a worn roof, you probably should just go ahead and do it, because it's going to come out in the inspection.
Right.
And then you're hit with this bill that you weren't expecting, and it's going to be bad on the back end.
Right.
And it's not cheap. Don't get me wrong. It's not cheap, but it's kind of necessary.
It is definitely necessary.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if you have limestone for your exterior of your home, over time we all know that mold can collect on that. It's very easy to remove, and it took me like 3 years thinking it was going to be a horrible project. But it ended up taking like a weekend and spraying a lot of Tilex that you get at the Home Depot.
Yeah, because it kills mold really well.
It brightened up the whole house. And the things that we think in our mind that are going to be such a big, huge project and time consuming, and we've got kids and baseball and brownies and whatever, they're really not. They're really not. They can be done, and you can do them yourselves without having to spend a lot of money. It's just, clean it up.
Yeah.
Clean it up.
You know what I was just thinking? Go back to like backyards, and you said like kind of just, just care for them, right? A lot of people are starting to put in, instead of pools, they're just putting in like outdoor living areas. And those are really nice. And those are something that actually do bring value. Like an appraiser will actually look at that and, kind of figure out the cost of something like that. Now, you're not going to get every dollar back, right? But, if you spend $10,000 on an outdoor living area with, a nice island barbecue built in, little mini fridge out there, they do give value for that. I've seen that a couple of times. Yeah.
So I think they're awesome. And I would love to say that I had one, but I can't honestly say that I would cook outside and use the dishwasher that they put outside. And all that. The kitchen's just right there.
Yeah, it's interesting because we built one in our last house, and we didn't use it unless people were over.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, that's cause to go outside. But if it's just my wife and I, it was like, yeah, we'll just stay inside. The TV's in here, the air conditioning,
Oh, yeah.
And then we had a hot tub out there, and it was really awesome for like 1 month a year. You know what I mean?
February.
There was
it
1
was
to 2 months. Yeah, there was 1 to 2 months. It's like it was either too hot or too cold, right?
Yeah.
Like you would go out there in the winter and it's freezing, and you're like, "Oh, get in, all right, I'm good." And then you get out and you're like, "Okay, ready to make a run for the door."
Right? And let's just face it, ladies, it's not fun to put on a swimsuit and then you're only in the hot tub for 2 minutes before you're out.
And then the summer was bad because it was like, who wants to get in boiling hot water when it's boiling hot outside? You know?
Yeah, it's just making you sweat.
Yeah.
into the water.
So the moral of the story is, unless you have like a medical condition and need a spa, don't get one. They don't work around here. At least for me, they don't.
They don't. It's way too hot. It's way too hot.
And if because they are hardwired to the house and they are a pain to move, if you sell a house with one of them, you're probably going to leave it there and you're not going to get any value for it because it's a non-realty item.
Yeah.
So they're not going to give you value because it stays with the house. But on a non-realty item addendum, you can have the buyer pay for it. Mm-hmm. They can buy it from you. Mm-hmm. But if they don't want to and they want to buy the house, then you're kind of stuck. Right?
Yeah,
because you don't want to move it.
What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, moving it's a pain and it's expensive.
I wonder, do hot tub companies like repurchase old hot tubs to recycle?
Not that I know of, but there's companies like New Braunfels Moving Company that they move all of the they deliver all of the hot tubs for MB Pool and Spa.
Yeah,
and so they will take a used one and they will move it, but it's about $750 to move it. Yeah, Jeez. So it's kind of excessive. But I mean, outdoor living is becoming, or is pretty popular, and it is one of those things you can get a little bit of value out of.
Yeah.
But again, not everything you spent on it, right? You can get a little bit, but just kind of like a pool. You figure about a quarter of what you spend on it is what you're going to get back.
Right.
But not like other things, like like we were talking about earlier, and they kind of mentioned it in chat too, was like the cabinets, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you're upgrading cabinets to something that is not normal in the neighborhood, right? Like, solid maple and soft closed doors and drawers. Those can fetch a little bit of value. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times appraisals will assign nothing, and then you can go back and argue like, hey, these are upgraded, they need to have a little bit of value because it was a $10,000 investment. And then they'll come back and say like, okay, I bumped you up by $2,000.
Right. So, right. You made me think of another point. Let's back to windows for a second.
Yeah.
Clean your mini blinds. Put them over a fence. Spray them down if you have to have them. Mm-hmm. I prefer just put shades in the windows, but anything that collects dust is the first thing that, as a woman, I notice when I go into a home.
And if you have windows that are starting to get moisture inside, or you can see the seals breaking down,
cover those puppies up.
Yeah, they need to either replace them or cover them, because you don't want people to see that. Now the inspector is probably going to figure that out. He's going to look past your blinds, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of times, unless there's actually something missing, like a cover missing or something from a window. Uh-huh. I have not seen a lot of inspectors, say that the windows need to be replaced.
Right.
I mean, unless they're really, really bad, which if they're that bad, it's like
BB gun
it's like an $80,000 rundown house that you're going to remodel anyway, right? So you don't really care. But there is they're not commonly called out, but if you do start to have that stuff, and windows are not cheap.
No, oh my gosh, I have friends that they spent a pretty penny, and that was the house I was talking about, the only house I've ever been in where I was like, look at these windows. Yeah. But they are worth the savings over time as far as energy is concerned, because their electric bill is way lower. Because they replaced all of them, which their home was built like in the 90s, which I feel like was yesterday.
But they were still dual paying, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But no, they're beautiful. It makes the house. It really does. But that's the only house I've been in where I've noticed only the windows.
You noticed like, oh, those are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is I feel like people want to overdo it before they sell their home. Kind of like the HGTV effect thing, where there's all these series, just like there's series about real estate, they're not accurate.
No, I always wonder, like, how many people have Chip and Joanna bankrupt?
No joke.
Like, a lot, right?
I have been suckered into one of their comforters.
I mean, I'm just saying, like these people go out there on HGTV, and in 30 minutes they remodel a home, they pull the bus out, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Oh
got
my
their
God,
kid on
you
their
know?
back,
Yeah.
carrying him around, painting. Like, it's crazy.
And they try to make up these issues that they're having, and realistically, while they're not there, there's real people doing all the work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they make it seem like it just happened like that.
And 30 minutes. That's how long it lasts.
And
the
it
show.
does, unless, I mean, they probably get it done in like a week or two because the people are outside the house, but they probably have a 30-man crew actually working on it, just going through banging stuff out 24 hours a day. And
Yeah.
that's not realistic.
It is not.
And yes, okay, like a lot of the things that they do, it looks nice and all, but you know, if you got the actual receipt for what they were doing, it does not make financial sense.
No. And if we did get the actual receipts, it would be so much lower than it would be for someone like you and I to do the same thing.
Oh,
they did,
yeah.
You know, because they're big TV shows.
Because they're on TV.
Right. And also, you know, they just have a credit card. They can just swipe, buy. Well, that's fun.
Yeah, the
right?
network's paying for it. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like that's not reality.
It's not.
You can't just go do things like that and expect return on it. And some of them where it's like they sell it or whatever, and they're like, okay, this is what it was worth, and this is what we put into it, and this is what we sold it for. You don't know that any of that is real.
The only time that I have seen evidence of that being real, one very, very responsible homeowner had a binder this big, and there was one page of every upgrade and the amount of that upgrade that corresponded with tabs in the binder of the receipts and the manuals and everything. So that actually was cool.
Yeah.
Because it is definitely proof. But when you're just telling somebody, oh, I did this and this and this and this, and there's no proof to back it up, it doesn't seem like it's very believable.
The other thing they make it seem like is to do these things is relatively easy. Like, you can replace your cabinets, you can replace your floors. What's the big deal? Most people cannot do that.
No.
And they might be able to they might be able to get the cabinets in,
right?
But to line them up, I've seen people do cabinets before. These guys are sitting out there with level lasers and all kinds of shims and stuff to make everything look. You don't know how to do that. Don't try.
Don't try. It's gonna make it look so much worse.
And then it's gonna look really wonky.
Yeah.
You ever walk into showing houses or whatever, and you see this house that, you know, on the pictures it's like, this is a nice remodel, and then you go in and you realize that some low budget dude just put lipstick on a pig. You know what I mean?
Lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
Trust me, more times than I can count. Yeah, pictures are a must for people, you know, showing up to view the house, but they have to kind of back it up.
Yeah, and then you get there and you're like, who did the house I'm in right now? It's a newer house, right? And it's a nice house in a nice Perry neighborhood. And these people wanted like the two-tone cabinet thing, you know, so the island is a different color I swear they just used a Home Depot 50-cent roller to do. It's all orange peel.
Is it all over the tile too?
They kept it off the tile. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. But it's just, you know, it's rough, and you can feel it. You can see it. You know, in the painting industry, they call it orange peel. It looks like an orange peel because it's just like bumpy. It looks like texture on a wall. You know, and it's like, okay, y'all did this yourself, and that's terrible. You know. You should not be doing that.
Which brings me to the question of, should you get rid of the popcorn ceiling or not?
Yes, absolutely. It's not only do people view that as an age indicator, but it's also well known that there's like asbestos and stuff in that. So it's, you know, you may not have to do the lead-based paint addendum, but people looking at that are like, oh yeah, that's a health hazard, and everybody knows that now.
Oh yeah. And especially if your home is older and your ceilings are only, you know, 8 feet tall. It makes it look a little bigger if you take it off.
Another thing you don't want to try yourself. Now, I will say, you can go on YouTube and you can see guys peeling the popcorn ceilings. I've done 2 homes, and that part is easy. you spray it with a chemical and you scrape it off, right? And you got to spray it. If you do it dry, you're just breathing toxic chemicals. But the taking it off is easy.
It just peels right. It just comes right off. Yeah,
right off as soon as you spray it with that chemical. But the problem is when you go back and try to texture and paint. Most people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to Home Depot and rent a hopper, so you can, no,
right?
Doesn't work. It's not very easy to do. So again, that's not something you don't want to as a homeowner. You typically don't want to be dealing with those chemicals anyway.
Well, no, I mean, not at all. I would definitely pay for that to get done.
But it is something that needs to be done. Popcorn ceilings are just so old that it's just an age indicator, so buyers coming in are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're kidding me, right?
Unless they like that look.
I mean, if they like that sort of thing, then you might as well leave the shag carpet,
right?
too,
might as well leave the orange carpet, and the plaid couch, the plaid woven couch,
with plastic on it.
My grandparents had that.
Oh yeah. Didn't everybody?
Oh, I mean, gosh, it was so loud. You could always tell when someone was sitting on the couch.
Yeah. But if you were trying to sneak something from the kitchen, you knew when Grandpa was getting up, right?
Right. Mine would be the sound. Mine would be the sound of him getting out of the recliner, and that's another thing. Is like if you've got that old favorite recliner.
Oh yeah, the one that's all
that
stained
has
and sticky.
It has your scalp grease and all of that all over it, and just put it in the garage just for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because if I see something like that, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Gross. And then that's all you're focused on. You're not even looking at the house anymore.
What was he watching while he was sitting there? Yeah. What was she watching? I can't. You don't want to visualize that.
This dude watches 10 hours of Cops every day. He's sweating over here because the cops are in pursuit.
Oh, no.
Now, you know what we haven't talked about yet, though, is countertops. And that's the thing. Now, I will say, if you have, like the non-solid Formica type countertops, that's something that, you should replace just when you're living there, not just to sell.
Yeah.
But it is a big difference. And it is actually something that appraisers will give you value for. But I got a caveat for that. The difference in what an appraiser will give you for quartz and like level 7 granite is nothing.
Really?
Yes, nothing. They don't care. It's either solid counters or it's not. Right?
Okay. Did y'all hear that? So when you're looking at houses online and you see the beautiful quartz countertops, it really isn't that much of an upgrade according to appraisers.
Yeah, and a lot of people may not know, but granite has very different levels. One through, I think it's like 10 or something, but maybe it's 7 or 8. But you have a really high end granite countertop, or if you're thinking about getting that for your house, whether you're selling or not, don't. That's just my opinion. Granite, for one, is hard to maintain. If you do not keep it sealed and cleaned and covered with a chemical every month or so, it will start to absorb. And so when your son spills this apple juice on the counter, it will stain the counter if you leave it there for more than a couple seconds.
Or if you have to dye your gray roots.
If you dye your hair. Who does that in the kitchen? Well, I guess you could have that in your vanity too.
I have to rinse it out in the sink. It's a deeper sink. You gotta anyway.
Oh, okay.
But I learned my lesson.
Way too personal.
Yeah.
Moving on.
We were talking about kids' juice drinks, so
yeah,
I could talk about my hair. Anyway, what is the total difference between granite and quartz? How can you tell right off the bat?
Well, so you can tell a lot by the design. Like granite has a lot of more wavy,
Is it more square though on the sides?
No, that's just how they cut it.
It is. Okay.
Yeah, that's just the cut. So you'll notice granite has more wavy, like granite is actual rock. It's slabs of rock, right? Quartz, and quartzite are man-made. And so you won't see the wavy things. You'll just see like specks and flakes, right? That indicates that it's quartz or quartzite. Quartzite? Yeah, that's right. and then granite has more of like a flow, like a wood grain almost. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
has those different lines in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell the difference from that. But I'm just saying, if you're in your home and you're thinking about upgrading the countertops, um, just go with what looks nice. Don't go with what's expensive, because those high end granites and different slabs are very expensive, but they don't bring value and they're harder to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just creating more work and less resale value.
Right, right. And I think that is the point of having a realtor guide you through that. Um, we don't want you to have to spend more money than you have to.
Right.
So if you don't have that type of budget, say you don't have enough equity in your home, there are certain things you can do, small upgrades, clean the fronts of your cabinets.
Yeah.
And you can change out the hardware. You don't necessarily have to repair or replace all of the cabinetry. It's just little details like, towel hooks and in the bathroom can be easily replaced.
And if you're gonna replace countertops, a lot of people don't know this. Don't go to Home Depot or Lowe's. They're way too
Overpriced.
expensive.
Yep.
You can actually go. You can just search your map app on your phone and just look up like countertop distributors. You can go. There's like 4 or 5 distributors in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
You can go directly into there. Now they don't have a showroom and all, but all they have is slabs sitting in a warehouse that these contractors buy from them. You can walk right in there and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're way better priced.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to have a contractor to cut it and install, right? But you don't have to, like, you need to cut out the Home Depot Lowe's middleman.
Yep.
Because they are charging a ton of money, and you can get it done a lot cheaper if you just do a little research.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that as many times. I have gone to Lowe's and Home Depot, and basically for everything is really overpriced, except for Home Depot delivers free.
That's true. That's true. But their cabinets, everything are just very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. It's convenient, right? They're a big box store and they have pretty much everything you can go in and design, and but it's very expensive. You're better off finding somebody that does that and has cabinet builders and has things. They're going to be much better price wise.
Yeah. And to wrap this up in a nutshell, talk to your realtors. Let them know what is the bottom line that they can walk away with being happy after with the cash they get in their pocket, but also what they're willing to spend in sprucing their house up a little bit.
Yeah.
And we will be able to guide you through that, and not have you go bankrupt over it just to get your house sold.
Yeah, you got to understand that real estate agents and realtors, we go through houses all the time. Right. And so and we're sizing the house up as when we go in to do a listing appointment with you. We're looking at the house. We're already determining the sellability of the house, right? What's the marketability of this place? So I guess my point is that realtors are in homes all the time. And so, if you're thinking, well, I'm not really sure what I need to do, how is this good? Is this not? Do I need to do this, that, the other? Realtors can tell you, what's going to help it sell. The key is that even if you don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make it less true.
Well said. Well said.
It may be a lot. It may be, but listen, the market is in a place right now where you've got to do something to stand out, be different, make it appealing so that buyers will buy it. There are not a ton of buyers out there right now, and there are a ton of homes on the market in our area.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of homes. I mean, it used to be that homes flew off the market real fast, and they're just not.
I wish I knew that.
And now, we can go and it's so funny. Like when we're trying to find comps, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll go in and it's like, well, there's 15 houses on the market in your neighborhood, and in the last 6 months, I can only find 2 that have sold.
Oh my gosh, I have had that same problem. And even if you have it priced right, the main question is what makes it stand out?
Yeah,
What makes it stand out from the other gazillion homes that are sitting on the market priced around the same?
right.
So you have to have something that makes it stand out, whether it be a Tesla Powerwall system or a really awesome front door.
Yeah.
Something has to be different other than the other homes, and that's what a realtor can help you decide on.
And there's 2 different things to think about right now when you're listing your house and thinking about what can I get for it? What do I need to do to it? When we talk about comps and what's on the market, a lot of and even a lot of agents are kind of programmed to comps are what matter, and that is true, because that is very important when we're talking about what it's actually going to sell for.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can ask whatever you want, but at the end of the day, the appraiser is going to come in and he's going to say these have sold and this is what the value of the home is, right? So that's one thing that we look at for you as a seller is what is the appraiser going to say, and ultimately that's what matters, because that's nobody's gonna buy a house and the lender gets the appraiser out there and it's $25,000 under the sale price,
right?
And they're just like, oh, that's fine, we'll cover it.
Oh, grandma.
No, not gonna happen. And then the other thing is the what is the competition?
Right.
What are I always do this now when I'm listing a place is I look at the comps and the solds, but I'm looking a lot more at competition.
Yes.
More now, because it's with so few buyers out there, the thing is like, well, who are we against?
Yeah.
And we can look at those things and look at those homes and then say, okay, not only is this one priced here and this one's priced here, and these are the differences, and kind of do a CMA on competition, but we can also look at condition of the home.
Right.
What do they have? What do you have? Does their kitchen look nicer? Does their master bathroom look nicer? Does it, did they update things that you haven't updated? And then you may need to make some updates and whatnot on that information as well. And so I think hopefully a lot of agents have kind of caught on to that.
Trust me, I feel that I have been catching on to that. When you have an older established 2-story home in a really nice neighborhood, but the master bedroom is upstairs, and the other homes that are comparable are priced around the same as yours, that's the next step that I go to is how can we make this different,
mm-hmm. More enticing,
other than having to walk upstairs to go to bed every night.
Yeah.
And you have to, because there's so many homes out there.
Right.
There's just so many.
So much competition right now.
Right. I mean, I find myself going into those other homes that are my sellers' competitors.
Yeah.
Just to see. And a lot of times I'll actually go in them because pictures don't always.
Yeah, they don't tell the whole story.
Justice.
Yeah, and sometimes they tell a fake story to make it really nice, but there's a lot of AI and stuff out there, and in the MLS, we have to say if this is AI enhanced or virtually staged or anything like that. So, but I don't think that transfers to online. I don't think they have to. In the MLS, you pull up a picture and at the bottom it says virtually staged,
right.
AI enhanced. It doesn't do that on Zillow.
It does not do that on Zillow.
No.
I have virtually staged a home. The only thing that I make sure that I do is I do not change any of the aesthetics of the home. Meaning, I'm not going to change the brown tile to a updated tile.
Yeah, don't change the colors.
I'm just adding furniture in it.
And realistically, in my opinion, when a buyer walks into a house and the pictures don't match the house, their first thought is, okay, what else are you lying about? You know what I mean?
Dang it! There just goes one listing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying if they're. I mean,
No,
virtual staging is
yeah.
one thing. I'm just saying when the pictures completely don't match,
Yes,
and they're so
yes.
AI enhanced
Yeah.
that it's not a true representation.
You've got
of
a
the
metal
home.
roof all of a sudden on the exterior when there's
Yeah.
not. Things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Or like I've seen a lot with new builds, not neighborhood new builds, but in Fisher, Spring Branch, the 1 acre
Yeah.
lots. They'll AI put in lawn, plush green lawn, right? In the whole thing, and then you get out there and it's base rock and weeds. You're like,
but
wait
it
a
could
minute.
be green in the summer.
But
maybe.
no. But my point is that there's not even a lawn.
Yeah,
it's not even
it's
a
all
dead
dirt
lawn
and
that
rock.
you made more green. It's no lawn whatsoever. That's just lying.
And it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time for your sellers and your buyers that you
Yeah.
have to go and take them to.
Yeah.
There have been some creepy houses that I have been to where the pictures were definitely misleading, and it looked like it should have been filmed in a horror movie.
Yeah, and you get there, and you and your buyers are both just turned off.
Well,
and you're
I'm
like,
embarrassed,
you're like, what
number
the heck?
one, but we saw the same pictures, and I don't have time
Yeah.
to go preview a house
Right,
before
right,
I go
yeah.
view a house.
Yeah, no, I
So-
don't think the buyers are blaming you. They're
No.
just like, this seller's out of their mind.
No,
and
we're
they just-
all wondering
they
who
just
hurt
wanna
him.
yeah, they just want to leave now. Okay, forget it.
I could
Uh,
hear things. I could hear
so,
people.
yeah.
But no, I do believe just really cleaning up, decluttering, cleaning your windows, getting that mold off your limestone. If you gotta touch up the fascia boards on the exterior because they're rotting out, or maybe replace them, that's not such a hard thing to do, or an expensive thing to do.
Yeah.
And limit the clutter, limit all the collectibles, and you can do those really easily without having to break the bank.
Yeah. I think if I could summarize this whole thing as we kind of wrap up here, I would say that if you're thinking of selling your home and you're gonna have to do something to it. The days of just list it as is are kind of over.
Yeah.
For now, right?
Right.
That time may come back, but for right now, where we're at right now is you cannot just take some pictures and list a house.
Right.
You're going to have to do something, and so that you don't waste money doing things that aren't effective and are too expensive, you need somebody, an experienced realtor who looks at homes all the time, to tell you what things are actually going to make your home more marketable and be worth it, and the things that you shouldn't do that you maybe think you do need to do. So they can tell you what to do, what not to do, so that you spend the money that you need to spend wisely, so that you get your home sold.
Right. And these things aren't completely personal or opinionated on the realtor's part. They're hearing so much feedback from all the homes that they show, and they know exactly what the majority of people like and what they don't like. So if we don't agree with you, it's not because we think your idea is not a valid one. It's based on feedback that we get back every single day from our clients and
Yep.
from open houses. So trust your realtor.
Yep. Awesome. I think that's it. All right. I'm not sure who's doing next week, but next week we'll have somebody in here. And thanks to everybody that tuned in, that commented, and we will see everybody next week. See ya.
Bye. Stay dry.